This year was massively intense global tour as well. So you're having a bit of a break. What does life entail for you then? What's next for you?
Well, I think we all just came to the decision that we wanted to just pursue different things. When you live in each other's pocket for 5 years, it does become. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're all very close friends. But yeah, I think it's just you start developing different interests, and I think I'm going to become a bit of a Michelin star chef soon. It's getting there. But no, it's just obviously family and friends and girlfriends. It's kind of good to spend a bit of time with them, even though we've only been back 3 weeks. But it's just been nice to have a bit of time to myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I've got a single coming out with Richard Rawson. It used to be called Phaser from N-Dubs. So it's weird. It is weird, but it's good.
Weird but good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I'm just going to throw these little croquettes and explain what's happened. I've just basically just put the cheese in here. You can see the mixture's quite thick. And this is when it gets cold, really. So the cheese has gone in there, the ham's gone in there, salt and pepper, parsley. And then what you do is you basically mould these in your hand, allow this to cool, and then it's quite soft, but you throw them in the flour first, seasoned flour, then in the egg, and then in the breadcrumbs, you see, like that. So you just throw that in the breadcrumbs. And then mould them up. You don't need to do any fancy shapes, really, just as they are like that. And then these just get deep-fried. And as they deep-fry, the sauce part of it is nice and soft in the middle, so they should be lovely and soft in the middle. Normally you make it with potatoes, but this one with the white sauce as well. Like you're saying, you're in the studio on and off, writing your own bits and pieces again. Yeah. You said you're in and out. It must be nice to have a little bit of a break, though. Yeah,
it is. It is nice, but obviously when you're in a band, especially when you're writing, you're catering for 4 people, another 4 people, and their kind of musical taste. So, yeah, it's going to be nice to get in the studio and do something for myself. Because I came from kind of like a singer-songwriter background, play guitar, and just kind of wrote music in that way. But then, obviously, when I got in the band, we had a direction that kind of suited another 4 people, because everyone likes different music. Like, boys, it ranges from soul to R&B. I'm a bit more of a rock guy, so... Yeah, it's going to be nice to get in there and just experiment with different kind of sounds.
Thank you. Well, good luck with it anyway.
Cheers, James.
There you go. And, right, here's your little croquettes here, so you just basically just pop those.
Did you make this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're just basically just a little bit of mayonnaise, and it's made with rapeseed oil, which is another... What was that?
Nothing, chef, nothing.
What was that? What was that? So this is a little bit of rapeseed oil, but you can use this. The colour of it, oilseed rape, you know, the yellow fields that are everywhere at the moment? Yeah. It's actually not the flour that they use, it's the seeds underneath. They have these little sort of, almost look like French beans, and inside that there's black pods. They crush them, and you end up with this lovely yellow, and it's cold pressed, produces this amazing oil, which is also from the UK as well, and that's what you make the mayonnaise out of. Right. But dive in. So you've got these lovely soft in the middle, so they're not potato, but they use these in a lot of Spanish sort of tapas bars, that kind of stuff, using great quality UK produce as well.
And nice with salmon as well, wouldn't it?
Happy with that?
Amazing.
There you go. Right, don't forget, if you're interested in visiting your local farm during the Open Farm Sunday, you can find which ones are available and open in your area by logging on to our website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. You'd enjoy that if you went there. So what will be cooking for Tom at the end of the show? He could be facing food heaven. Raspberries. The raspberries are layered with homemade puff pastry, along with lots of pastry cream, served with a dusting of ice and sugar, some fresh raspberry sauce to go with it. Or Tom could be facing food hell. Salmon with my version of a classic gravlax. The fish is cured with salt, sugar, herbs, thinly sliced and served with a whole grain mustard mayo and a little baby gems salad dressed with hazelnut vinegar, honey and shallots. Some of our viewers in the chefs in the studio get side Tom's fate today, but you have to wait to the end of the show to see the final result. Right, I'll take this one.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
I'll take this as well.
I need the cloth now, just tucked it away. Right, I'll take the clay pot. Right.
I tell you what, it was worth coming just to see James Martin sweating.
Cheers for that.
Well, you did well, chef.
Yeah, thanks, cheers. You have to try this. Trust me. This, if you're going to try anything, apart from the raspberry, hopefully at the end of the show, the raspberry dessert, but try that, because that is just fantastic.
Oof, it's hot.
It's really unusual with the sugar and everything else.
And it's fish.
Yeah. Happy?
I think
Tastes good. Really, the chicken's really tender.
Yeah.
It's so tasty. It's like one of the best things I've tasted on this show. It is brilliant.
Yeah. I did it. Right. We need some wine to go with this. We head back to London's wine fair to see what our wine expert Susie Barry has chosen to go with Bobby's brilliant chicken. What do you think of this? I have to say I need it, but yes. What do you think?
That's great. What do you think? Fantastic.
The flavours of this are spectacular.
It's great, really fantastic.
Yeah. And a
Definitely.
lot going on there, but this really complements it. But I have to say, these dishes are just superb. Happy?
Love it.
There you
Really
go.
nice.
Look at that. I've never sweated on the show before, and now I can't even do my air grab. Look at that. I can't do that now. Right, it's time for Greg and John to taste the Celebrity Mars Chef Hopeful's dishes. Afterwards, they need to eliminate one of them from the competition. Let's see what happens. Have you got another bottle of this? And there'll be more from those two greedy Italians on next week's show. Right, it's time to find out whether Tom would be facing food heaven or food hell. Now, Tom, food heaven would be raspberries, piles of raspberries, raspberry sauce. We've got a lovely raspberry sort of mille-feuille, little sablé with puff pastry. Food hell would be salmon, and a pile of salmon over there that we could turn into a nice little gravlax, cured, with a nice little pickle with mustard mayonnaise. What do you think these lot have decided? Because Tom, by the way, obviously salmon, Scottish, salmon, he's going to choose salmon. So that levelled it at 2 apiece.
Yeah.
So it was basically down to Bobby.
I hope Bobby will give me the raspberry.
to me, you don't know!
And it was only the fact that he messed up the mayonnaise in rehearsal. That's the reason why I didn't want to do it again. So that's the reason why you're getting raspberries.
Yes.
So there you go. So we'll lose this out of the way, all this lot out of the way. So I'm going to get on and do the puff pastry for this, right? So I'll probably do this away from Bobby because I know what he's like with butter. So I'm going to make my own puff pastry. Now, you make this in a similar sort of way of making croissants. It's all about laminating the dough, and basically it's layers of butter and pastry. As the butter melts, it creates the steam trapped in between the layers of pastry, and it causes the puff pastry to rise. Tom's going to make a nice little creme pat or pastry cream to go with it. That'll be lovely. You're going to whip up some cream. That'll be lovely. So that's just milk in there. We've got a bit of vanilla milk, and then we're going to put in some sugar, and then we thicken it with a little bit of egg yolks and corn flour. So puff pastry here, right? When you get to this. Now, next time you eat a croissant, now there's people watching this that are munching on a croissant that they've got from the shop. This just shows you how much butter goes in your croissant. And this is why, Tom, they're proper, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Well, no, it's not a lot.
That's quite a lot.
Not in my house, here, Tom. Look, and then, look, you just take a little bit of butter. Like this.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a touch, like that. And you put this in. Like that. Then you fold it over into a sandwich. All right? And then dust it with flour. Whack it down. So it's nice and compact. Like that. And then roll it out again. Now, the whole point of this, each time you roll it, this butter layer incorporates into the dough nicely. So the butter eventually, after sort of 3 turns or 4 turns, disappears. So as we fold that over, it's called book turns. You dust that off, fold that over again, dust that off, fold it over into a book. Now, each time you roll it out, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn our attention to one that's been done. We've got in here. This has been thinned out nicely. How are we doing over there?
Yep, good. I've got my egg yolks,
Good.
corn flour and sugar, and whisk that together. And then I'm going to pour the hot vanilla milk over the top.
So a little bit of this over the
back
top.
on the fire.
Flour again. We dust it again.
Do you have to put that in the fridge?
This one, yeah, each time you do it in the fridge, because the butter gets really soft.
Right.
So it's quite warm in here today, so it's quite difficult to roll out. But the whole idea of it, you just roll it out like this. So it's very similar to making croissants. The only difference between croissants and puff pastry, really, is the type of dough that you start off with.
Yeah, yeah.
It's obviously got yeast in it to start off with, whereas this one hasn't. It's normal flour and water and a bit of salt. And then we're basically going to roll this out. How are we doing over there, guys?
Yeah.
Good.
Happy?
All this technology, I got to tell you.
Roll that out. Like that. Well, speaking of technology, I actually can't see at this moment in time because this is the amazing thing about this show when you're live. There's people that rush around everywhere clearing up the set. And you probably didn't notice this, but the makeup artist ran on because I was sweating a bit and decided to spray me with hairspray, missed and got me straight in my eyes. So now officially I can't see. Right, we do that, and then we pop these into oblongs like this. All right? So you do get to these like this. So you just...
So should I put a bit of this?
Are you inspecting it there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm just looking. You can't even see the butter, can you?
No, it's all gone, you see. You wouldn't notice.
So shall I put a bit of this creme pâtissière into the cream then, Jim?
You can just put a little bit in, yeah. So that's the creme pat just going in there.
What does the